In addition to labeling our profile, we actually have another Civil 3D object there that allows us to view the profiles called profile views. And we can label the profile views as well, taking advantage of providing information such as station elevation and depth. Let's go ahead and take advantage of these label tools by opening up our exercise 0707 profile view labels. We open up this drawing, and near the beginning, we see that surface profile. You can almost identify immediately where the curb is along the existing road. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our profile view, because that's what we're adding the labels to, and choose Add View Labels. So there's two different types of view labels you can add. One that is specific to a coordinate, or in this case, the station elevation, and one that provides us information of distance, or in this case, a depth label. Let's start with our station elevation label. And so it asks us for the station as well as the elevation. And so we're going to turn on our object snap and pick the same location for both, the bottom of the curb, and it places that label. So I'm going to hit escape to end the command, hit escape again to remove the selection of the profile view, and I'm just going to put this into a drag state so we can read it. Now, it doesn't really matter to us. We're not really concerned about the stationing at that location, but we are interested in the elevation. And we also want to identify what we're labeling at that elevation. So I'm going to select this label, and in any label we're using in this exercise, but any label that we've done so far and that we'll do in the future can be adjusted in this way. So at the contextual ribbon for this label, under the Modify panel, I'm going to choose Edit Label Text. And we'll find ourselves looking at this model window, so to speak, of the information, and you'll find anything in the less than, greater than brackets. That's dynamic information that's built into the style so as to show the value of something. We're just going to remove it. We, again, aren't concerned about the station. We are concerned about the elevation. What we want to do also is locate or identify what we're labeling. And so I'm just going to type in static text, it doesn't change, and say this is the elevation of the existing curb. I'm going to click OK, and now notice how my label has changed. I actually use station elevation labels within my profile view to label anything that I'm calling out. I use it instead of AutoCAD leaders or multi-leaders or any of this stuff because these labels will follow the view. If the view moves, these labels move automatically. They're all associated with the view, as well as taking advantage, of course, of Civil 3D's scaling capability as well. So powerful way to work with our station elevation labels. Let's add one other type of label here by selecting my profile view, that grid, add view labels, and we'll choose a depth label. Now, a depth label is expecting you to pick 2 points, the start and the end of the depth label. So I pick the first point, and I'm going to turn off my object snap. I'm going to eye up. I'm trying to identify the actual distance from the top of the current curb to the bottom of the new profile. And so it places that label in there at 0.44. And notice, though, the one drawback to this label is that it's not a linear type dimension. It is more of a polar type dimension. It's going to go all over the place. And so if you want an actual linear dimension, you may have to draw a construction line, plain AutoCAD line or something to give you the straight up and down. But again, I use these labels for any type of dimensioning for any information along a profile. Why? Really, if I drew a line here and listed this line, you'll see that the line and its length is much greater than 0.44. It's really 10 times greater. And that's because the view, the grid, has a 10 times vertical exaggeration applied to it. The depth label knows that and picks it up. So not only will it move on its own, but it also recognizes the vertical exaggeration. And if you change the style, it would also be able to adjust. It will change in height and will follow everywhere. It really is a much better label than trying to use AutoCAD dimensions at this location. And so we've looked at two different types of view labels, the station elevation, which we edited the label text, and we looked at the depth label as well for profile views.